You're alive. Good morning, Brother Rashad McCrorey. It's good to have you this morning. I know you're in Ghana. I'm going to ask you to tell us about yourself and how you got to be in Ghana. But first,
so I'm hearing a little feedback. Is that from my end or from your end?
I think it's. Let me get my off just in case. I still hear it. Is that you, Mikey? Can you still hear it? Okay.
I think okay. Okay, great.
All right. Corey, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to be in Ghana. But first, I want to give you an opportunity to go to all your brothers and sisters back here in Harlem, New York. Let them know how you're doing and what's happening.
I'm doing well. Blessed ancestors been watching over me. Got an apartment in Ghana maybe about a month ago, so I'm here furnishing my apartment. I really started on a 2-week trip, and due to the coronavirus pandemic and some decision making, which I'll get into later, I'm going into month 7 here in Ghana. I'm unexpected relocation and expat. For those who don't know me, my name is Rashad McCrorey. I'm the owner of Cross Culture, a tourism company that takes Black Americans to countries in Africa. The countries of operation include Egypt, Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, Rwanda, and Uganda. I've been featured on CNN, Forbes Magazine, New York Daily News, The Griot, Lavity, Travel Noir about 6-7 times, and several Ghanaian publications, including Joy Online, Adam Online, TMGH Magazine, and several other media outlets. Several in Ghana, several in other African countries, and obviously several throughout the United States. My story started with March activity. March 6th is Independence Day. And for my tourism company, I exported 4 Americans to Ghana for Ghana Independence Day. I arrived in Ghana on the 7th for routine business trip. I brought a one-way ticket. And I stayed 2 weeks because there were some other festivities and activities I wanted to try to attend. However, in March, when coronavirus broke out, the pandemic broke out in America, and said either come home immediately or risk staying abroad indefinitely. I really, took into account my situation in Ghana, the resources that I had, my father who was in a position back home, which I prayed to. I called my mother and several connections throughout Ghana, and we all decided that, I'll be able to stay in Ghana and not only survive in Ghana, but actually thrive. I'm a tour operator during the pandemic, and blessed for me, I was able to be in a country of operation during the pandemic. So I've been holding virtual tours, interviews, meetings, traveling the country, sharing on my social media platforms. And from there, I've increased my image, increased my influence on the country and the diaspora movement.
So you've been to how many countries right now?
I believe I've only been to 10. To say that there's 54, I've only been to 10. I've been to Egypt, Ghana, Kenya, Nigeria, Rwanda, Uganda. I've been to Cote d'Ivoire, Togo, Benin. 9. So I've been to 9. I've been to 9 African countries.
Now, could you talk about your experience in each of those countries? Maybe you might want to draw a distinction between Egypt, because Egypt is primarily Arab, but the rest of these African countries are Black, even though it's Africa and has a history of African people. But how have you been perceived, how people treating you. What could you tell people here about coming to Africa? Should they be afraid? Should they be happy? Should they get there as soon as they can?
Well, what I've learned is that each country has a different culture, different history, different traditions. I'm kind of at a crossroads right now because when I first made my first trip to Africa, I was supposed to visit Cameroon. And in 2015, but the Ebola 2014 outbreak happened, I went to school. And they wanted to cancel all travel to Africa altogether. And what I advocated was that Africa is 54 countries with different cultures, tradition, history. And I targeted Ghana as a country that's welcoming to foreigners, and also that was Ebola free. Now, upon studying a little more, I do kind of wish Africa would become one united continent again. So even though Africa is 54 different countries with European guidelines, borderlines drew that out, I do wish Africa can be one strong continent / country. However, what I do highlight to people when it comes to visiting Africa, each country has its own history, its own tradition, its own culture. I would say don't be afraid of visiting Africa, because when you deal with America and when you deal with European in the Northern Hemisphere, we deal with stereotypes. Everything is always Boko Haram. You're going to get kidnapped. Flies on little kids' eyelids or pop bellies. People sleeping on floors. People sleeping in bushes. So we have the connotation of Africa, where Africa is actually a place where African Americans, Black Americans can actually be enlightened and see our true potential. I love being in sub-Saharan African countries, which I call any African country, not in North Africa, because North Africa is mostly occupied by Arabics. When you start thinking about Algeria, Morocco, Egypt, in those countries, you start seeing what I call all Black everything, like billboards, Black businesses everywhere. You start seeing all Black channels on television, from the news anchors to the television shows, to the actors, to the people behind the scenes. All African names come down on television. All you see is Black people. Anything that's not Black has a voiceover, unless you're dealing with American movies. Ghana is an English American country. So I'm definitely on the board of saying don't be afraid to visit Africa, because as being a Black American, an African American, we're a savvy, brave, strong, unique people. We don't really understand things when we're in the furnace. So when you come out the furnace, you realize we're the aggressive one. We're the ones, sometimes we bring the issues of being Black American to Africa. There's more I want to a short story I want to share. Is maybe about a month or two ago, we were at a party, me and some Black Americans were at a party, and the Ghanaians started arguing and yelling at each other, saying nasty, horrible things. But then here we are, we start laughing. We like, niggas, they're not going to throw a punch. They're not going to fight. They never fight. They never throw punches. We're laughing at them. And then they hit me, and I said to the fans, to my friends, that shows how sick we are, because after one or two bad words, we don't want throwing punches. We want to fight, and they saying all these nasty things, and nobody's ever really throwing a punch. And this is in Ghana in particular. I know other countries that may be different. When you deal with Africa, you have to know the country you're going to. Like you mentioned Egypt before. My father, who taught me as a child to want to visit Africa and to learn about ancestral worship, he loved ancient Kemet. However, now Egypt is more Arabic, and you really kind of visit Egypt just for the landmarks. You want to see the Great Giza pyramids. You want to see the Sphinx. You want to learn about the Nile River. You want to visit Luxor to see the huge, humongous statues, the 15 and 20 statues, and you want to go to Luxor. I'm sorry, not Luxor. You want to go to Memphis, the original capital of Egypt, and you want to go to Ansar to see the remains of the African Egyptians. Kenya Kenya is mostly animal safari. I am doing more investigation. I am doing more study of the East Indian slave trade, but that even goes more into Zambia, in Central Africa, and Zimbabwe. We start going down East Africa under the. I don't know if I'm doing it right. I think I do it this way, Cameron. You go down East Africa under to South Africa, then up back up the west side of Africa, then out to the Americas. So when you deal with Kenya, that's when you deal with the lions, the rhinos, the cheetahs, the hyenas, the big five, including the buffaloes. So each African country, a lot of it has a different recipe. There's really no wildlife in West Africa. West Africa is more built on culture, tradition, the transatlantic slave trade. So each country has its history, culture, and tradition, and it's really up to you. Rwanda, you learn about the genocide. I think as Black Americans, you learn a lot about reconciliation and also image restoration. In Black America, once somebody is caught up in a scandal or once somebody image is tarnished, we like to hold it over them forever. So there's different countries that we can learn from that has different value in the business.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so I would say have an idea whether you want to choose a country, kind of know what to expect when you visit the country. Because as a tour operator, there's a lot of times where people are asking me are they going to see the Big Five? I'm just trying to do this at the top of my head. The Big Five, as far as East African safaris, whether it's Kenya, Tanzania, Zanzibar, those countries is lions, rhinos, leopards. I can't remember. Buffaloes, and there's one more that I can't remember, and elephants. So those are the Big Five.
Are there plenty animals? Is it, once they get you out on the safari, will you definitely see them?
In Kenya, they say it's rare to see all Big Five in one trip. However, my last trip was only 5 days, and I seen all Big Five as we was leaving the compound, as we was leaving the safari. We saw a leopard. They say the difficult things about leopards is that leopards can hide in trees, and when you have so many trees, you have to actually see them going up the tree to actually know where they are. But however, when you go to safari, especially during the summertime, during the Great Migration, you do see an abundance of animals. You're always sure to see giraffes. You're always sure to see elephants. You're always sure to see hippopotamus. Rhinos pretty scarce. You see buffaloes a lot. Rhinos, especially when you're dealing with black rhinos and leopards are too difficult to see. But you see monkeys, you see wild boars, you see wildebeest, you see a lot of wildebeest, you see zebras, you see birds, animals. I didn't know hippos were so feared. Hippos are very feared in Kenya, especially when you get at the waters. You think hungry hippos, you didn't really think they were actually one of the more feared animals. West Africa, there's places like the Monkey Sanctuary and a couple of parks with cats, but don't come to Ghana solely to see wildlife and animals. Come for culture, the people, to interact with Africans, to come more for social and social, whether it's sociology or mingling, archaeology reasons. Don't really come for animals or wildlife, or even environmental reasons, in my opinion.
Well, let me ask you this. In terms of investment, African Americans who are thinking seriously about repatriating to Africa, and they want to look at what are the investment opportunities, and is there a movement for dual citizenship? They want to know all about how they can repatriate and do well. A lot of African Americans, especially in South Africa, have done very well in terms of moving. And in Ghana as well, I understand Ghana has about 5,000 to 7,000 African American Americans that have repatriated there. About that, is that number correct?
Yeah, I've heard about 7,000. I've heard exactly about 5,000 to 7,000. They said closer to 7,000, which is a lot, but it's not a lot, especially when you think you have 30,000 Ghanaians in the United States who have full citizenship, let alone those still visiting on green cards and visas. Yeah, so as far as investment opportunities are in abundance. However, what I do suggest that African Americans do, get your finances situated in America first. A lot of people contact me thinking they could come out to Ghana and find a job or find an investment opportunity out here and live off the Ghana CD, which is the Ghana currency. Our leverage as Black Americans, not only being of African descent, but of having Northern Hemisphere money. We have access to the American dollar. So when I hear people who are Black conscious or want to return back to Africa, they hope America crumble and fall. Your leverage in going back to Africa is actually having the American dollar, whether you have dollars, euros, pounds, or even as we spoke about off-scene, the yen. So what I recommend to everybody first is to get an income flow, whether it's online, make sure you keep American bank accounts, make sure that your American income is sufficient, your cash flow in America is sufficient. I wouldn't even rely on savings too much. Make sure that first you have either a monthly check, online business, something to where you're garnering significant dollars, pounds, euros, yens, rubles, whatever you want to do. I call it Northern Hemisphere money. And then that way you leverage Ghanaian money, the Ghana CD. $1 American dollar is 5.7 Ghana CD, 5 CDs, 7 pesos. Being out here 7 months now, I've learned to value $1 American dollar is 1 Ghana CD. I don't think anymore 5 Ghana CDs only spending $1. If I'm spending 5 Ghana CDs, I'm spending $5 in my mouth because you run through money fast, people take advantage of you fast, and you lose part of the leverage when you start thinking that way. So first start getting your finances in order, or if you already have them in order, make sure you keep your American Northern income. Make sure you keep it. Please don't try. I suggest anybody can get lucky and anybody can make it how they choose. I don't like anyone, but you're making it significantly harder on yourself if you come out here with no income from home and you want to build an income from scratch, or you're looking for a job here in Ghana, because they're going to give Ghanaians a job first. And really, all your data is based on your American income, whether it's business opportunities, whether it's relationships. Your biggest asset is your income flow. There's always going to be business opportunities. There's going to be investments, whether it's in real estate, whether it's sales, whether it's investing in business. Be careful. There's been a lot of con games. So if somebody's selling you something you think it's too good to be true, it's almost too good to be true. I even got caught in a small con just this week. Something that I heard about that happens to people happened to me this week. What they do is they want to provide you a service. They'll tell you one price to get you to commit to a low price. And then once you commit to that low price, you start putting money, they start saying, oh, we got to do this now. We got to do that now. We got to do this now. The next thing you know, you think you're spending 200, 500 American dollars. You can have a bill that turn into 1,200 American dollars, 1,500 American dollars. I am using this one because when you start putting up 10,000, 30,000, 50,000, 100,000, you thinking, oh, I have 50,000 to put up, and the next thing you know, you're running about 120. You know, these are things that that we have to think about. So even as you start making your transition into repatriation, start being more business savvy, start being more investment savvy, start being financially conscious, and use your American shrewdness, your American street smarts. I'll get into the next when you're ready for me to do that. Yeah, unless you have any more questions.
Oh, thank you for that, because that's really critical. A lot of people want to come to Africa, but they're not thinking about the logistics of the finances and so forth. So you really got to look into this very deeply. Another area that I think people sometimes forget about what is the crime in Ghana. I know I was in Ghana years and years ago. It's, I lived there for a while in the 90s, going up to 2000. And if you had one person killed a year, that was a lot. We didn't have any crime at all. What's the situation like now? I know you did not feel put upon your children, went out at night and so forth. You knew coming home they were going to be all right. How is it now?
It depends on your location. Even like where I'm located now, there have been a string of robberies throughout the town. They say be careful at night. I've heard people getting at gunpoint. Robberies, they're not really out here murdering or raping people per se, but I have heard stories about if they break into your house and you don't have no money. If you're a guy, they'll pistol with you. If a lady, they'll rape you. If you don't have money for them or have anything tangible to give to them. I've also heard that countries like South Africa or mostly Nigeria. So there is crime here. Is it a dangerous country? I would say no. Because I even think back, in America, every homeowner is worried about home invasion. That's why people have security systems put in. That's why people have guns. So I know a lot of the homeowners here have guns. I'm in a two-home apartment. Do I have a gun? No. But I do feel a little safer because I have several bolts and locks on my doors, and you got to go through 3 doors to get to my front door. I'm not on the ground floor, even though I heard about people scaling. So it's just as you would be in America, where you want to be street smart, you want to be savvy, you don't want to be flashy, you don't want to flash around. Even now, as I'm car shopping, yes, I would really like a nice car, but at the same time, I don't draw too much attention to myself. I try to be as low as possible. I'm very big on social media. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Rashad _McCrorey. To find me easier, just put hashtag 2RMT, TOORMT, like Rich Money Cash, Royalty, % Champion, TOORMT, hashtag 2RMC. You find me. I'm verified on Instagram. Just look for my blue check mark. Even when I go out now, I delay my broadcast. Sometimes I might take a chance and go live, but I don't like people to know that I'm out and I'm not home, especially late at night, because I know if potentially people already following me on social media and they know I'm out. I've heard stories about pastors and preachers and people, churchgoers who get robbed while they're at church. So it's not even more of a nighttime. They know you go to church every Sunday. They'll wait for you to go to church. They'll break into your home and they'll rob you while you're at church. I'm not Christian, but God is a Christian country. So I've heard those stories. And I worry about when I go out. I like to party. So when I go out late at night, not only am I locking everything as sufficiently as possible, I'm also kind of delaying my broadcast. Sometimes I put the party up on Saturday, but I really was Friday and I'm home in the house, which is another danger because I don't want people breaking in while I'm home. However, you do have to be mindful, but again, us being African Americans, being Black Americans, we're very savvy, and we should have street smarts, and you still have to have a certain level of bravery to come, but also don't be naive. They will welcome you home to death. I'm here to talk the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yes, it's mostly good, but they are bad. They will welcome you home to death, and the same people welcoming you home is the same ones, slowly plotting on you. Jealousy runs around the world. Insecurities run around the world. People scamming happens in all parts of the world. It's known as the second biggest scamming country in Africa after Nigeria. So these are all things that we do have to be mindful of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, let's hit on education, because when families are moving, they're concerned also about the education of their children. What's it like there? What's the education?
I kind of, the education system is based on money. The more money you have, the better education you can get for your children. You're going to have to spend money to have the best education possible. There is very good educational options here. There's private schools, there's tutors. You also got to teach your children to street smart. Men will try to sleep with your daughters just to try to marry into your family and access to your money. Just like women would try to sleep with your sons just to try to have access to your money. So education is also beyond just school and 9 to 5. You also have to have people kind of teaching them the ropes of having street smarts. But if you have your finances in order, you can't pay for quality education in Ghana. So I would say yes, there are many education options from kindergarten through college. They have a different educational system, but I'm just calling it kindergarten through college just to be easily understood.
So really, nothing really changes when it comes to having to keep your head on your shoulders and think all the time and keep a deep belief system in universal principles. But my experience in Africa was great. I really and I felt more at home actually in Africa. And I felt safer in Africa than I do here in America. But you know, you said, notwithstanding, it's correct. I mean, you really got to, no matter what, keep your head on your shoulder and think. Think. That's one of the things we bring with us as African Americans, because our experience has been so deep that we can use this experience anywhere we go in the world. So I would like for you, you know, just to talk to us as a brother who traveled, who has experienced Africa, who comes from this territory and especially Harlem. If you had a message to leave with us, what would that message be? And especially in these with us not knowing what the future, I mean, you know, we don't know what it seems like they plan to exterminate African people here. You know, in your own words, I want to give you wisdom.
To believe in yourself, to believe in your ancestors, to be confident and strong, invest in yourself, whether it's through knowledge, through information. I have a situation where I was looking back on some of my old Instagram posts from 2018, 2017, and I was just reading books about, you know, spiritual strength, universal principles, universal laws, and I began to embody them. And I'm a walking manifestation. I pretty much manifest everything that I touch. The power of the mind, a healthy, strong mind, if you take time to cultivate it, is the most powerful muscle in the universe, in my opinion. And when you really believe in yourself and you really start betting on yourself and investing in your mind, investing in your ideas, like I said earlier, don't be afraid to start learning more about money, learning about investments, learning how to keep your finances in order abroad before you put up and leave. You're from a people who have endured a lot. You know, we're the survivors. We have the survival DNA strand through 400 years of hell. And once you start to learn, once you start touching the continent, we go back to Africa thinking we're going to find kings and queens and royalty. We don't understand we're the royalty. I'm not Christian, but I think it's the story of the prodigal son. I learned when I used to be Christian. You know, we're returning home and we are royalty. We lost our identity, but we come back. We come back with, you know, advanced education, like it or not, because you don't want to give Europe and the West and Northern Hemisphere credit, but we come with advanced education, advanced technology, come with wealth, you know. I say $30,000 a year in America is about $150,000 to $170,000 a year in Africa. You know, once you start doing currency exchanges, you start understanding the value of it is so much less. You know, like a big bottle like this costs like $2 in America. It probably costs maybe like 60 cents off the top of my head, 50 cents off the top of my head, 20 cents. So once you learn how to leverage that money, and you come really with the belief that listening to your instincts, you're out here trying to manifest things, it really is a powerful weapon. Plan accordingly. Nothing's going to be perfect. You don't have to wait till your plan is perfect. But the more prepared you are, the more chances that you have to succeed, and the more awareness you're going to have. You don't want to be doing everything on the fly. Yeah, I moved to Ghana or relocated to Ghana unexpectedly, but as I said before in my story, I made all the appropriate phone calls. I did proper meditation. I really, you know, really thought long and hard, and I came up with a plan. Not everything goes as planned for both good and bad. There's things I'm like, wow, this worked out way better than I thought. And then there's things that I was just like, oh man, I dodged a bullet. So I haven't had any real disaster stories yet. But again, I believe in myself. I follow my instinct, and I'm always cultivating a new plan. And I'm also practicing something besides mindfulness. It's just something as don't hold on to a story too long. Don't get too attached to anything, because you never know when you need to be able to adapt and to maneuver. So again, I would say start cultivating yourself, start investing in yourself, in your education, in your knowledge. Learn how to manifest things. Don't you know, you hear about The Secret, you hear about all this stuff, and it start turning into taboo. But at the end of the day, you know, when you really believe in yourself and you really take the time and build that self-confidence and learn how to follow your instincts, you really come out on top. And if I can answer one question on dual citizenship, and I'll make this one quick. Dual citizenship is kind of a myth. It's kind of a myth. As of now, Ghana and many African countries will give you dual citizenship. However, it's America that doesn't honor dual citizenship. So I can come to Ghana, establish dual citizenship, and say, yes, I'm an American citizen and I'm a Ghanaian citizen. And Ghana will respect that. However, if I go to America and say, hey, I've gotten Ghana citizenship, now I'm dual citizenship, America would say, no, you have to choose. You're either one or the other. And if you do something wrong, they'll trial you or they'll treat you as an American, and they won't respect your Ghanaian citizenship. They would say you're American or you forfeit your American rights. So the concept of dual citizenship, I say, is kind of a myth because America doesn't acknowledge dual citizenship. You're not going to get a call from America saying, hey, I'm a dual citizenship. I have both citizenship. You're either going to be Ghanaian, Liberian, whatever, or American. It's either or with America. But with Ghana, they do respect the dual citizen tag.
I see. Well, my brother, I have really enjoyed you this morning. Look forward to you.
I'm really honored.
And if anybody got any questions that they'd like to pass on to us to ask you, please do. And we'll relay it to Brother McCrorey. Thank you. Thank
Not
you.
a problem.
Your family and all the brothers and sisters.
Yeah. I miss you.
Thank you. We look forward.
You actually learn to appreciate America more when you're away. You know, when you got to deal with the nonsense, it's sickening. But there are many aspects to America that that I do miss, and that you really do learn to miss.
Oh, very good. Okay, my friend. Thank you very much.
All right.
All right.
Thank you for having me. All right, kid.
Thank you.